Michael Baker, CEO and Managing Director of Arovella Therapeutics, ASX ALA.
Thanks very much, everybody. Thanks very much to Steve and the group for putting on this lovely event, and thank you, everybody, for your time here today. And I'm looking forward to telling you about our company, Arovella Therapeutics. We're a biotechnology company. We are listed. Our ticker on the Australian Stock Exchange is ALA. And I'll skip over the disclaimer. And I just wanted to talk about some of the metrics of our company before we go into the technology. So we're currently valued at 24 million with an EV of just over 15. So we don't think that adequately reflects the technologies that we have in the company and the team that we've recently managed to build out. As of December 30 last year, we had $8.8 million cash in the bank, including the proceeds from a placement, but not including the $2 million for an SPP that we're currently closing this week. In conjunction with that placement, we had a very well-known and excellent investor, Merchant, join the register. They have had a number of good wins in biotechnology, so again, lovely to have them at the top end. And we do have a number of high net worths and also small institutional investors that understand an investment in the biotechnology space. But of course, we're always looking to welcome additional investors that understand the risks and the potential rewards that come with an investment in biotechnology companies. So what is it that we focus on? And in a word, it is cancer. And I think you'd look around the room and everybody has been affected by this in some way or another. And the reason is because it is still so prevalent, with 19.3 million cases in 2020, around 10 million deaths. And what we know from the technologies that we're developing, they're called biologics. The market is enormous at $143 billion projected by 2026. And more specifically, we focus on a type of treatment that's called a cell therapy. And more recently, there's now 6 approved what are called CAR-T, and T cells are a specific subset of immune cells, and they have been approved to treat blood cancers. And so looking over onto the right-hand side there, this is a series of articles that were published in February, where some of the patients that took these types of therapies 10 years ago when they were in their experimental phase are still cancer-free. So we are at an exciting time. These types of therapies have heralded in a new era of how we think about cancer treatment, because we're starting to use the word cure. So just to take you through as I mentioned, the therapies that are already approved, they're called CAR-T because they use T cells. And our big point of differentiation is we use iNKT cells. They are already a naturally occurring subset of our immune system, but we know that there are a host of advantages that I'd like to walk through in a moment. So the way this type of therapy works, that step one is we actually collect blood. In the cases currently, it's from the patient. So you actually have to take the material from the person that's got cancer. You then take their immune cells. We genetically reprogram them at step 2. So they have something called a CAR on their surface, and that's indicated by the little red dots. They actually serve to seek out and destroy the cancer once they're given to the patient. Those cells are grown up into many more numbers, and then they're given to the particular patient that has the cancer. Currently, the workflow for all of the approved therapies is that we must start from the patient. For our cells, the iNKT cells, they don't cause what's called graft versus host disease, so we can actually give them from a healthy person to a patient. So we know that we can use our product we call off the shelf, start from a healthy donor, create the therapy, freeze it down so it's ready for use as and when needed for eligible cancer patients. We also know that they're one of the most potent immune cells, so they work very, very effectively. For tumours that produce something that's called CD1D on their surface, they also work better than the conventional T-cell therapies, and they activate other components of the immune system. So again, what we're hoping for when we develop this product is a better performing treatment, and will be more cost effective and have the ability to be rolled out at scale. So in terms of the cell therapy market itself, it has and it continues to generate an enormous amount of activity. I won't go through all the strategic acquisitions and partnerships on the first table there in blue, but there have been some double-digit billion-dollar transactions in the space, and continuing through 2021, we saw a number of billion-dollar but also high hundreds of millions of dollar strategic partnerships and collaborations. And on the other table in red, we see that there's actually a number of key capital raises that took place last year. Again, it just signifies the investment that we're seeing still in the space, and they're all from 2021. And why we're seeing that is, again, going back to what I said before, these are the types of therapies that have ushered in a new era, and we are seeing really impressive outputs in terms of cure. And in terms of the global cell and gene therapy market itself, it's expected to reach double-digit billions by 2026. So as I said, all the approved therapies to date, they're T cells or another type of cell, and there are hundreds of companies, hundreds of clinical trials, so it's very crowded and very competitive. For us, we work on the iNKT cells. There are four companies only, and we're one of them. And in the last 6 to 9 months, all of these companies have had significant commercial transactions. The first on the left is Apia Bio. They had a strategic partnership with Kite, valued at $875 million after raising $52 million in their Series A. I should point out, Apia haven't got their product in humans yet. They're expecting that to happen at the end of 2023. Cure, who are very early stage phase 1, so they have started to dose their humans with their technology. They were acquired for $185 million total deal value. And iNKT Therapeutics, also early phase 1, they raised $42 million on the NASDAQ and currently valued at about $100 million. So for Arovella, our company, we had 2 significant milestones for the company. We licensed in a technology, our platform, from Imperial College London in the middle of last year. That's a top 10 university worldwide. And we also acquired another technology that will combine with that platform from what is one of the world's best cancer centers in the US, the MD Anderson Cancer Center. So we see our valuation at $24 million, and relative to our peers, we just see that there's a lot of opportunity for growth. So in terms of our pipeline, we have 2 major programs in the cell therapy space. The first up the top in blue is ALLO-101. We're developing that for the treatment of a form of blood cancer that produces what we call CD19. That, as I said, that's in conjunction with Imperial College London. And ALLO-104 for the treatment of multiple myeloma, and that's the technology we acquired from MD Anderson Cancer Center. So the key next step for both is to drive these as quickly as we can into clinical trials, so we're testing them in humans. We also have another platform called the Oromist platform, where we take drugs and convert them from solid dose into oral spray. And our lead product on that front is called Zolpimist for the treatment of short-term insomnia. And that we're expecting to hit the shelves in calendar year 2022 through our partners Starter and Teva. So really equally important to a biotechnology company, we've already acquired world-class assets, but the key next step is the team. And we've got an outstanding team. Our chairman, Paul Hopper, is very well known in the biotechnology space. Myself, I have a PhD in biochemistry before moving into drug development and then into venture investing before joining Arovella. And the next 4 individuals are all recruited in the last 6 months, all US-based, again, because that's where the top quality is located. Dr. Deborah Barton joined as a non-exec director, and she is the chief medical officer of a company called Arovella Therapeutics, who recently entered into a strategic partnership with Moderna, which I'm sure everybody would be familiar with, for a $45 million upfront payment and undisclosed milestones. And Dr. Liz Stoner, she's formerly an assistant professor at Cornell University, again, one of the US's best universities. She's now the executive partner of MPM Capital, a biotechnology-focused venture capital fund in the US. And Dr. Sandy Buchanan is our VP of manufacturing and quality. She has 20 years experience in manufacturing these therapies, which is absolutely critical to their success. And Dr. Mini Bharathan, who joined to drive these programs from where they are now currently into clinic. So I'd just like to stop there and say thank you, everybody, very much again for your attention. It's great to see a lot of people out and about again, and please feel free to come over. I'd be happy to take you through our science and how we think we're going to have a huge impact in the space of cancer. Thank you very much.